Have you ever wondered why the 5 final letters, when they're written as 5 Dinim, are written like this? Mem, Nun, Zadeh, Pei, Kaf. How come they're not written in their order, or in their appropriate hundreds order, as being the 5 final letters? Why are they written in all writings as in this methodology? I have read in the commentaries that there are other methodologies of how to write these finals, but this is really the only way that's ever come down to me, and I'm studying 40 years. Why is it written Mem, Nun? That's fine, I understand that. Why the Zadeh, before the Pei? If you were following some sort of order before you get to the Kaf, which they write as a final, it should be Pei and then Zadeh. But here they have it as Zadeh, then Pei. This is all off. And why don't they start with the Kaf? There's a 20 and then the thing. Well, here's the reason why, and it just came to me yesterday. Reason it came to me is a very deep, deep reason. The total sum of these 5 letters is 280, which is par, pei, resh. This is the double the par is the par, which is the butterfly, which is the symbolic memorial of my brother. The doubling in the 2 worlds, the here and the hereafter. And so why is this order of these finals written? Remember that the 5 finals come from Bina, because in that world that's the world of the hundreds. So these 5 final Dinim come from Bina, and then they spread down into Zi'anpin, into the first 5 Sephirots there, which become Hesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, Netzach, and then the 5th one in Hod. And in a certain sense, that's why Hod Shebahod is the Lag BaOmer day, because quite frankly, the Dinim cease in Hod, which is the 5th Sephirot of the Zi'anpin's 6. They didn't filter down into the 6th as a 6th level. These 5 Dinim here symbolize the 5 levels of the soul. You see? And the 5 worlds. But let me get back a second. In the world of the hundreds, see, the world of the units is the Osea world. The world of the tens is the Yetzirah world, and then the world of the hundreds is the Bria world, and that's also the emblematic name and function comes from Bina in that world. And remember that Bina is the number 67, and it's also Ben Yah. Yah is the big name of Shavuos, and the 10 day and the 49 and then the 50th day, the days of counting from Pesach to Shavuos, becomes 50, the 50th day, and that's Yud Hey, that's Yah. Yud times Hey is 50. So the name Yah from Shavuos is a very big deal here. And the idea of Psalm 67 being read on the days of the Omer, because the gematria of Bina is 67. Anyway, let's get here why the order is like this. And this is what came to me yesterday. Remember the 5 worlds, that would put the Mem in the as Keta in the Adam Kadmon world. And then the Nun would be Chokmah in the Atziliyot world. The Zadeh would be Bina as the Bria world, and the Pei would be the Nefesh, the Ruach in the Yetzirah world, and the Kof would be the Nefesh in the Hosea world. So these 5 worlds. Now, I'm just going to tell you something else. These are the 5 fingers. Well, we'll use the right hand, but doesn't matter. The 5 fingers. This would be the Hosea world, Yetzirah world, Berea world, the Atziliyot world, and then the Adam Kadmon world. So this would be the 5th finger. And then something that came up to me today is that why do some people in some cultures and have a long fingernail? That long fingernail, and I had that too for a while, till I had social pressures, which I'm now going to grow again when I found out that this is the 6th level. The fingernail is the 6th level of the soul. Beyond the Yehida level of the soul is the Atzmutz level, which comes out of the tip of the finger and is the fingernail. And that would make sense because remember the original bodies of like Adam and the Garden of Eden was fingernail. So that's the Atzmutz level. Now here's my Hiddush here after 8 minutes of talk. This name here, the 5, why are they arranged like this in an incorrect order? Is because it relates to the Atbash. The Atbash is the secret of this order. And weirdly enough, the Atbash comes from Bina. Just like the Albam comes from Chokmah. The Atbash comes from Bina, and now I'm going to write, there are 3 letters here that correspond to the Atbash in the divine name of Yud Kei Vav Kei. Yud Hey Vav Hey. So let me write it down under it. Underneath the Mem, the Atbash of the Mem is Yud. And then the Atbash of the Nun is something else. We'll get to that. And then the Atbash of the Zadeh is Hey. And then the Atbash of the Pei is Vav. Now remember, Pei is so there are 3 Atbash. Yud, Hey, Vav in the divine name and in that order of spelling. And that's, by the way, the male way to spell the name. Yud, Hey, Vav And then there's like a final hey. And wait till you see this. What we're going to do is going to make a final hey like they do in the prayer books. You say, well, no, not yet. Let me just say the two letters that are not part of that divine name, which is, to me, is enough here. That's why the order is like this. And that's why the Zedek comes before the Pei. So that the Hey could come before the Vav. And that's simple enough as it is. And that's why now, the reason why the Nun comes after the Mem is because we're dealing here in the Man. That's one of the great secrets. Food is one of the great secrets. You know? And so the Mem, remember that the Mem is the fifth world here, which responds to the tip of the Yud. So in a certain sense, the Yud is included in the Nun here. But that's another story. So we have this, and now let's add some more here. And we'll just put the Nun as 50 and the Kaf as 20. So that comes to 70. Now, have you seen in the prayer books a very stay with me, a large, long hay, and then in that hay they write Adonai, which is the pronunciation of the Yud Hey Vav Hey. And they write that in on there. So the two letters that are not part of the Yud Hey Vav come out to be 70, and that's the large Hey over that of the Yud Hey Vav Hey, which is 65. So it's 65 plus the Hey, that's 70. So the total name is what you read in the prayer books, Yud Hey Vav Hey, and how it's pronounced, Adonai, and that's in the 5 Dinim. That's the way this Dinim is written. Now, is this a Hiddush? Can't be. But you haven't seen it, and I haven't seen it before. So that's the secret here of these 5 letters. Now, I have some more here, just as you know, so let me look here a little bit. You know, it's the tip of the Yud, because this is a very big deal for me. Another thing here about the Nun and the Kaf, because they're not forgotten here. They're Atbash, by the way. Nun is Tet, and Kaf is Lamed. So let me just write that in the bottom here. So Nun, and then I'll put the final Kaf like that, is Tet and Lamed. Put that in the bottom. And Tet and Lamed come out to be Tal, dew, which we pray for now. But more than that, Tal relates to Man, but it relates to the number 39. 39, which is the number of the Shabbos laws. And it's also, wait till you see this, I'm going to write out Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, and then I'm going to write out the next letters in that sequence. So it's Yud becomes a Kaf, Hey becomes a Vav, Vav is Zion, and another Hey becomes a Vav, and that equals, we'll do the Gematria together, Yud Hey Vav Hey, next letter is Kaf Vav Zion Kaf, which comes out to be 39. Now this name and the way it's written on the back of the parchment in the mezuzah. Okay? So this is a very sacred name, and it's 39. And it relates to the Yud Hey Vav Hey that comes out of the 5 Dinim also. And these 5 Dinim are rectified during the Omer. That's the whole secret. We usually count on 7s and things like this, but the real key is that there are only 5 Dinim. Just like there are 5 fingers. There are 5 worlds. And then there's a doubling. So that's the reason why the letters are written, the 5 final letters are written, not in order. It's to reflect this. Okay? It's to bring us to this consciousness. And when we say at the end of prayers, Adonai, and we look at the prayer book and we see this, or we envision it ourselves as it's written like that, we're rectifying these 5 Dinim. Because they always have to be rectified. These are the individual Dinim, which are expressed as the 5 final letters and in the hundreds world, the high world of Bria. And in Bina. So that's what we have here. Obviously, there's a lot more to say about this. You know, I have a lot more gematria here and things like that. But, you know, the rectification of these letters here come out to be 91 for me, and 91 is Amen, and the unification of Yud K Vav K, and Adonai. And so when you pronounce it as such and look at it as such, this is another Amen, which is a great secret here. And in a certain sense, 91 is Ha, 5, Elohim is 86. So when you say Ha Elohim, it's also 91. And these 5 Dinim are actually in the world of Elohim, which is its natural state is in Bria, in Bina. And it's the mother, Ima. So we have some of this here today, and I didn't give the 5th world, I didn't give the name of the 6th world, so let me just give that to have it in, because the 5th world is actually what they call Arik Anpin, Arik Anpin. That's where that Yehida is, but the 6th world is the Keta of Arik Anpin, and that's Atik Yomin. Atik Yomin for me is the 6th world, the Atzmutz world, the long fingernail world. And this world has gematria of 996, and then if you add the 10 letters, it's 1006, which to me is an aleph and a hey spelt out in my symbol. And if you just add the 2 words plus 1, it comes out to be 999, which is the gematria of El Shaddai, fully spelt out. So this fingernail has these references. And the 6th level of the soul, the Atzmutz level of the soul, which is a very deep, deep level of consciousness and communication, where there is a personal voice. Because what you're hearing is not your voice. And we'll talk.